I don't know about you, but I love a good biscuit, but they are so high in calorie. And I've been on a weight loss journey. So I'm going to try out two different recipes today that are claiming to be low calorie. One is made with buttermilk and one is made with yogurt, and the yogurt one's made in the air fryer. So let's test these biscuits out and put them to the test because even if they're low calorie, if they taste bad, who wants to eat that? Let's get started.
First up, I'm going to work on the buttermilk biscuits. This requires flour, baking powder, baking soda, salt, cold butter, and of course, the buttermilk. I am an exceptionally bad baker, so I made sure to take my time, follow the directions, read them multiple times, and consult my mother throughout the process because I really am that bad. But let me tell you the gist. First, you're going to mix all your dry ingredients, and then you're going to put in your cold butter. Now, the recipe calls for you to actually use a pastry blender, but I don't have that. So I'm just going to go in with my fingers. I cut up the cold butter and then I started placing it little by little into my dry ingredients. And I go in with my hands and I'm kind of massaging it in. The recipe says that you want to look for the texture to become like pea sized chunks and to not overblend. So I made sure to take my time and do it in sections because, again, I cannot bake and I feel like this is a recipe I really should not mess up. So I continued with that process until I got the consistency that it was called for in the recipe. Then it says you're supposed to make a well in the middle of the flour and then you're going to pour in your buttermilk. Now, it says again to mix the buttermilk with a pastry cutter. Y'all, I don't have all of this stuff. I'm going to do this by hand. If that's not you and you have the proper tools, more power to you. I bet yours is going to come out way better than mine. But after I got it into a ball, I floured my surface. I did clean my countertop in case anybody's worried about that. Then I pulled out my rolling pin and I made sure that I put some powder on my rolling pin because nobody wants to get that stuck together. And by powder, I definitely meant flour. Can you tell I'm not a baker? The recipe calls for you to use the rolling pin and roll it out to a 6 by 8 within half of an inch rectangle. And then from there, you can go in and cut your pieces. I was able to get 12 pieces cut, but some were misshapen, and I think I could have gone a bit bigger on the biscuits actually. I added them to an ungreased, very loved cookie sheet and put those in the oven.
While I bake these in the oven, I'm going to get started on my yogurt biscuits. Setting a timer for 10 minutes. Super fluffy. I think it's good. It's a little overcooked. Nothing a little Land O'Lakes can fix. It needed more butter.
The yogurt biscuits only have 4 ingredients. They have flour, salt, milk, and yogurt. Nice and easy, just the way I like it. So first I started with the flour, and then I'm going to go ahead and dump in the salt. And then, of course, we're going to do our wet ingredients, our milk, and then our yogurt. Super simple, and we're just going to get that mixing up. I tried to go in first mixing with my spatula. That turned out to be a very bad option. I ended up having to go in with my hands. Granted, if I had the right tools, this would have been a lot faster, but hey, going in with your hands is not that bad. And I was able to form the ball and get ready to shape it. I cleaned my countertops, I put some flour down, and then I put my very sticky ball down. I ended up using a significant amount of flour trying to get it to be so sticky because I couldn't even roll it out. But once I got that settled and got it into my rectangle, I actually used a little ramekin to be able to cut out the shapes that were required for this biscuit. And that also pose a little bit of a challenge, but hey, I can rise above that. And eventually I was able to start cutting them out. This took a few rounds because of the shape of the circle. So I cut out the shapes that I could. I went ahead and mashed the ball back together, rolled it out, and repeated the process again until I got all through the dough. Toward the end, I was able to get out several of them, but some of them came out a little funky.
Here's what the ones from the air fryer came out looking like. This one I should have split into two, but I thought I just wanted a big biscuit, so it like burned a little bit. But these are super pillowy. They're very small in size, but maybe it's just because I'm from the South and I like really big biscuits, and this one came out funny shaped. Let's go ahead and break into these and see how it tastes. Here's a close-up of the funky looking biscuit. Let's see what it looks like on the inside. It's hot and steamy, but hey, that is a fluffy looking biscuit. You can't tell me that doesn't look good. Me and my mom are going to taste test this first. Taste testing with no butter, no anything. Really hot.
Very hot.
You know what? I think this might need more time. We'll see. I can definitely taste the yogurt part of it. This one's way fluffier. I think I actually like the buttermilk ones more. These have the fluffy factor, but I don't know. I think the yogurt, small taste of yogurt, is throwing me off. They're still really good. This will taste great with whatever. But I think for me, the winner is the buttermilk. What about you, Mom?
I'm with you. I love the fluffiness of the one, but the buttermilk has a better taste. But again, I think a little salt would help it a lot.
Yeah. If you want to make a low calorie biscuit, I think these are really good options. The buttermilk one came out to be, I think, 83 calories and 2 grams of protein. And the air fryer yogurt ones came out to be 76 calories with 4 grams of protein. So they're so much cheaper calorie wise than biscuits from the store or a regular recipe for biscuits. So it's definitely a good way to go. Um, I still think the buttermilk are better. Just come down on the temperature, add some salt, and I think that's a perfect biscuit. This was pretty good.